Can you talk a little bit more about how you handle maybe some of those uncomfortable communications about playing time, about teams, coaches?
Sure. Well, for starters, like many clubs, we have the 24-hour rule. So whenever it happens, no one is allowed to speak to us for 24 hours. They cannot, unless it's like a life or death situation, um, they must wait 24 hours to have a discussion with the coach, with a master coach, with Mary Soaps, who is our girls director, in the girls program, Michael Soaps, who is the boys director in the boys program. Um, there's a hierarchy for them to work through. And by the time it gets to me, it would only be because it has already gone through at least 3 stops and it was not able to work itself out to a good situation between everyone. And then it comes to me, and then I have to make the hard decisions on what the response is. But it's good this way because I feel that the parents, they also understand that we really stress that the initial start of anything, playing time, or they're going to miss a practice or whatever, is the player to the coach. I want the players, the girls, the boys, they need to understand this is their responsibility. They need to take ownership. They need to say, I'm going to do this, or I don't understand why this is happening. They need to take responsibility and ownership on both sides. One side to the coach and find out what's going on. The other side is they are responsible to tell their parents the truth about what the coach said instead of, the usual, they don't like me. That is never the case. No one sits because a coach doesn't like them. That's not what happens. But it's their job as a player. We try to put a lot of responsibility on the player themselves. And always an open door policy. They can, at any time, a player can easily walk into my office and talk to me. Mostly they walk in and talk to Mary. They're very comfortable with that. No one is real nervous about talking to one of us because we do listen. And if what they feel maybe isn't, they're just not reacting the right way to it or whatever, we try to talk them through it. Sometimes it's something that we have to look into more and we correct it on our side. Hopefully it can be corrected easily without too much, upheaval of a team or a player or anything like that. But I have always really encouraged, as you know, parents get upset. So mostly they get upset because they don't know. And so therefore, I always talk with the players, and so does Mary. You need to explain to your parents what your position is, what the game is. Parents don't know. Volleyball today is in no way the same as volleyball was 20 years ago. It's not the same game. We no longer play in a circle. Everybody doesn't play the same all positions. That is not the game. And so I find that overall, most parents, I will tell you, the biggest complaint I ever, and I don't even think it's a complaint as much as it is, they're upset, they feel bad because their child gets pulled out. They only get to play, they only move 3 spots and then they get pulled out. And it wasn't even their fault that the point was lost. And I go, okay, well, it has nothing to do with that. It's their position and it's their rotation. And I have literally sat with parents on the sidelines and sat with them through a full rotation all the way around so that they could see what I'm talking about. And that is their child's position, not that their child isn't being punished at all. That has nothing to do with anything. It is truly the understanding of what their position is. But I put that on the players. That's their job. They want to play this sport. They want to commit to the sport. They want their parents to pay for them to play this sport. They need to explain to their parents what the sport is and what the game is and what the rules are and what their position is. Then I find that overall, we have a pretty happy, group of parents here, and our kids are happy. I know you can't please everyone all the time, but I think we have a very high percentage of it's good. It's a good
Well,
win.
that's great to hear, and I really like the 24-hour rule that you mentioned at the beginning, because I feel like that gives people time to relax and not just react based on pure emotion. Um,
Right.
like you said, it's if something happens, it's like it's a natural reaction to get angry sometimes, and until you
Yeah.
know everything, it's really hard to kind of calm down and put things in perspective. And I like also how you mentioned it's the onus is on the player to communicate. And that's kind of how the recruiting process is. Coaches are not looking to hear from parents. They're looking to hear from the players. And that's obviously a big part of what we do at Exact is help players kind of guide them to communicate with the college coaches.